Good day to all of you. Thank you for watching our newest episodes. We know it's a little, very recently we put out 3 videos. Hopefully, I've enjoyed them. We got a few comments. Those comments were also pretty insightful. I've replied to all of the comments I've found so far. And now we can talk about the IPL, the final 2 matches of the IPL. So we have a semi-final and we have a final. Qualifier 2 is basically a semi-final, right? So now we can talk about the 4 teams because I think it's unfair not to talk about GT's season. They have achieved much this season. It's not like they had a bad season by any means. So GT will be talked about as well. It's not just going to be about the 3 teams that remain. So we are recording this on June 1st before the Punjab and Mumbai match, just to give you an example, right? Just to give you an idea. Now, let's talk about the actual team that got eliminated first. We'll talk about the eliminated team first, since they deserve a fair share of our respect. So, GT, great season, in my opinion, but as Nikhil and I had talked about many times before, that their middle order was their Achilles heel, and it came back to bite them at the worst possible time. Washington Sundar played a blinder of an innings, but when there is Bumrah, there is a way, and Bumrah ensured there was a way. Bumrah was the man of the match in the previous match. Nobody else. Bumrah's 4 overs made the difference. His magnificent Yorking of Washington Sundar is one of the balls of the tournament. Supreme ability to think a batsman out even before the ball is bowled. So this was the match in a nutshell, in my opinion. Uh, Mumbai batted really well, but that is something that we had been seeing with GT. They had their bowling had started to really struggle, and they were conceding 220, 230 run totals regularly. In the last 3 matches, they conceded at least 225 in each and every single one of them. That was how bad it was. So when I looked at the bowling, it was going off the boil. And this pitch at Mulanpur was the diametric opposite of the pitch that Punjab and RCB played on. Completely two different surfaces. So this pitch was an absolute flatbed, and both teams made hay. Mumbai more so. But Nikhil, why don't you give some of your thoughts on GT and
Yeah,
their
so on
season?
the pitch, first up, very quickly, because you raised the pitch right at the end, 2 games to be played back to back. So they kept the pitch fairly fresh, and that's what got the first innings in the RCB game. That's what got Punjab in the first innings of the RCB game. They came out on the freshest possible pitch, scored
Yeah,
too few, couldn't create pressure from there.
yeah,
When you underscore on a good seeming wicket or a bouncing wicket, right? You're actually worse off than underscoring on a turning track, because the turning track wickets fall in a pile much more easily.
yeah,
Here, on a bouncier, faster wicket, you have the capacity to start to play shots because the ball comes onto the bat and there's enough bounce,
yeah.
right? So that's what Phil Salt did. But you could see why Kohli had to retire. That Jameson delivery, it's gonna get that all life with a red ball. So time was done. That's why he had to quit Test cricket.
No,
Uh,
the Jameson delivery, as you were saying, right, epitomized exactly what we have been saying for the past 5 years
yeah,
for
you
Kohli.
just can't handle it outside of. Anyway, be that as it may, comprehensive, one-sided Josh Hazelwood made all the difference. The significance of that match comes from what uh, what Jitendra Sharma did in the previous match. There is no RCB wouldn't be playing that match without what Jitendra Sharma did, and that is Jitesh
Jitesh
Sharma.
Sharma. Jitesh.
Jitesh Sharma's innings is, to me, the most significant innings played for RCB in forever, in as long as I
Yeah,
can remember.
yeah, yeah.
Without that innings, they don't get to play that match. Without that innings, they
Yes,
don't beat LSG. And the innings in itself is actually, even by the standards of the madness of the IPL, quite astonishing,
quite
because
astonishing.
it is above 250 strike rate for a persistent period in a match in which they look dead for a while, man. They look completely dead. He didn't just go
No,
win it.
no. They didn't look dead. They were losing wickets, but their run rate was always in control. Their run rate was always above 11 throughout. That was why they won the match.
But they were 5 down,
Four
right?
down,
How long
four
are you
down,
going to sustain?
four,
How long are you going to sustain that?
four down, four down. 4 down. They finished the match
right?
4
How
down.
long are you going to sustain that? One wicket goes, the floodgates open. He batted at nearly 300 strike rate for most of his innings.
Yeah, yeah,
That's and ends the game in 18.4 overs only.
yeah,
Right. So that's sort of the most significant innings for RCB in this tournament by quite some distance. And in fact, he has a couple of others. He's won a couple more matches for them this tournament,
yeah,
which
yeah,
makes him very, very significant and someone that India has to look at going forward as a
yeah.
keeper batsman option.
So
Then we
this
had
is the yeah,
then we had yesterday's game, which was quite interesting in itself because if you are able to pull out this statistic, Mumbai and Gujarat, you talked about the middle order.
yeah,
It's actually counterintuitive, but the middle order worked. It worked as it had to work. What changed? If you can go to Mumbai's scorecard,
yeah,
look at Hardik, 22
yeah,
of 9, right?
yeah. That's the match.
That's the match. At 19.1 overs,
Yeah,
both teams are exactly the same score.
yes,
At 19.1 overs,
yes,
201 for 205 for 5.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. And it is Hardik who is the difference from there.
yes,
So the middle order for GT did most of the work, that it had to do. But
yeah,
Hardik Pandya pops up and did just that extra bit. For
yeah.
all of the talk about how Bumrah's overs are so difficult to play, if you can scroll down just a little, just want to see the bowling. So if you look at this, the Bombay bowling. Thank you so much. So Bumrah, obviously, phenomenal economy, phenomenal effectiveness. I mean, he's getting fewer wickets because nobody's even trying to attack him. But look at the rest of the lineup; it got creamed, got absolutely
Yeah,
creamed.
yeah.
Uh,
Exception, Ashwani Kumar. Ashwani Kumar was the one exception along with
yeah,
Bumrah.
yeah, and he came in as the Ashwani Kumar came in as the impact sub, and
Yeah,
that third over that he bowled was really really crucial. It was really
yeah,
crucial.
yeah,
Bowled it well, gave 9 of that over, if I'm not mistaken. That was a
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
important
He gave
over.
9.
But outside of Bumrah, they were getting trashed, absolutely trashed, and the scores were level. They were level at 19.1 overs. That's how tight this
Yeah,
match was, and it
yeah.
didn't. I didn't expect it to be that tight at 208 for 5. Man, there's no chance, right? It was.
Mm.
It's actually quite a phenomenal ending that eventually at 205 for 5, it's the pressure of those last 5 deliveries that causes the defeat. And it's
Yeah,
and you don't have that same pressure when you bat first. That's the
yeah,
difference when you bat first, right?
yeah. We can
But
actually
but
see
but
the
take another scenario at 19.2 with 205 for 5,
yeah,
right? Instead of a dot ball, let's say
yeah,
somebody hits a 6.
yeah.
Tevatia or Shah Rukh Khan, it's a 6
Shah Rukh
right
Khan.
there, right? Or Tevatia has the kind of tournament that he had for the last tournament and the tournament before that, because Tevatia has been a major disappointment this season,
Major
despite the
discipline.
fact that he hit one of the best shots I've seen in a long time
The
in the
Bumrah
IPL.
6. The
Oh
Bumrah
my
6.
god! Oh my god! He actually had enough time to move well wider stumps after the release and still connect as well as he did.
Yeah, yeah,
And okay, Bumrah's erred a little bit in as much as that delivery is a little bit fuller than the
yeah.
Sundar delivery. But he showed how to play that ball better than what Sundar was doing.
Absolutely.
I don't know what shot Sundar was playing. I think that delivery, it's a phenomenal delivery. Don't get me wrong. It's quick.
Yeah,
It's on the pitch, on the spot. It's got reasonable movement to it, but it's not unexpected. And
yeah,
I don't know what shot he was playing. I don't get it.
yeah.
I simply don't get it. So he looked a lot worse than he should have. I thought on that one. Catches dropped by GT. Uh, Rohit comes
Yeah.
and kills them for the 2 drops. You cannot drop catches in T20 cricket. The margin of error is just
Not
too.
the ones they were dropping. Not the ones they were dropping. They
Yeah.
dropped sitters.
They drop sitters, absolutely. Keeper had a mare, man, absolute nightmare. Um,
Kusal Mendes had one of the funniest games ever. He dropped two straightforward catches and then he trods on his own stumps. Like the way he trod on his stumps, it was not even like the typical hit wicket where a
Yeah,
bail comes off. This
yeah,
guy
yeah.
flattens two of his stumps. It's like
Yeah, but,
nothing's
but but
left.
the interesting thing is Rohit and Sai Sudarshan literally cancel each other out. They're exactly the same number of runs and pretty much the same number of deliveries.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right? It's 81 of 50 and 81 of 49, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
80 of 49. Yeah, pretty much the same.
They cancelled each other out.
Yeah,
But and say Besto and Washi cancel each other out.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody else cancels each other out. Nobody cancels Hardik out. That's it. That's all the match it is.
Pretty much. Pretty
That's the game
much.
right there.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes you can have, and I am not trying to for a moment suggest Hardik is there for man of the match. Let's not pretend that Hardik gets to do what he's doing if all those runs haven't been piled up prior, right? So the
Yeah.
80 that is made and the 47 Besto is this is unfair. Everybody else comes out of the delay in the IPL with a weaker squad. Fucking MI comes out with a stronger squad. Besto is an
Mhm.
insane addition, yeah. It's a ridiculous addition to have for these
But
matches.
no, for me, Bairstow, right? Bairstow also has significant weaknesses in his game. They're getting bigger and bigger. We saw it on the
Brother,
test tour.
no problem in accepting he has weaknesses in his game, but if you open with him, he's not going to play a spinner that's going to bother him that much,
That's true.
and he
That's
and
true.
he can just go blind. This is what he's done in ODI cricket forever and ever. Yeah, whether it
Yeah.
was Besto or it was Phil Salt now, or earlier it
Jason
used to
Roy.
be
Jason Roy.
that's right,
Jason
Jason Roy, and who was the other one with Roy? Roy and who? The one who got
Alex Hales. Alex
Alex
Hales.
Hale. Yeah, used to go mad. They just used to go mad. Then they nearly made 500 against Australia once, right? Like they went
Yeah.
crazy enough
They hit 498 against Netherlands and 481 against Australia once.
against
So
Australia. Yeah, crazy pitches, of course, but that's what they were doing. That's what
yeah.
Bairstow gets to do now. It's a free hit,
Yeah. But
especially
for
with
me, where GT
especially
lost the
with
match, where
go on.
GT lost the match were those drops because one of the Rohit Sharma drops went to Coetzia's lap. Like it's literally in his lap, and he has hard hands. Like I get it, he's a fast bowler, and that will obviously make your hands very, very hard, very, very durable. But there was no give. There was no give, and it bounced right off. It bounced right off, like it was hitting a wall. And then Kusal Mendes had a nightmare of a game. To be absolutely fair, the man was coming in undercooked. He had played nothing for a month, maybe more. And let me put it this way, out of all the teams affected by the 15-day window, I think GT were hardest hit. I'll tell
Yeah,
you why.
yeah,
Josh Butler.
that's a
Butler
massive
is
one,
a
man. For a team that top three has mattered so much to lose one of them is just enormous.
like, how can you even replace Butler? Now I'm thinking that Rajasthan made one of the biggest blunders in IPL history by not retaining him in the mega auction. Like, if you put Butler in that Rajasthan batting lineup right now, that Rajasthan batting lineup cannot be stopped. Just look at the number of big hitters they have. Just put him there. GT essentially went in with three great batsmen having three extraordinary seasons.
Solve this mystery for me. The mystery of Sharfain Rutherford. GT have backed him like nobody else has ever been backed, man. GT backed him ahead of Glenn Phillips, who was in absolutely demonic form, both in the field and with the bat. Sharfain Rutherford cost them matches because he used to get locked up at times. They
Yeah.
found out his weaknesses at wide outside off.
Yes.
All right, he
Yes.
started to learn to hit wide outside off a little bit, but at no point has he shown that special power hitter uh, impact sub kind of hitting where you expect 250, 225,
Yeah.
250 strike rate. I've never seen him do it.
Yeah.
So what is with Nehra and his total faith in Rutherford? He's a very limited hitter. He hits in very limited parts of the field.
Hmm. You know, I
Phillips
was
would not
making
have
this
been that.
I was making this comparison between Andy Flower, who's coaching RCB this season. May he coach for 10 years more. That's how good he has been for us. And I'm comparing Nehra. Nera is a great coach. I'm not going to deny that he has not been a great coach. Winning the IPL in his first season is an achievement that not many other coaches can talk about. But when it comes to certain things, he's very stubborn. I've seen this. He
Dude,
backs players even.
Avesh Khan all tournament long. They
Yeah,
might have
Ave,
they might have lost
no,
their
no,
top spot because of this stuff. Yeah,
no,
Shafeed
Avesh Khan, no.
Rutherford and Avesh
No, no, no,
Khan.
not Avesh Khan. Avesh Khan is Lucknow. Arshad Khan.
Sorry,
Arshad
Arshad
Khan is,
Khan. Yeah,
yeah,
because of you may have lost your top spot because of this, top two spots because of this, and therefore lost
yeah,
the
yeah,
IPL because of that. But let's put all of that into perspective for a moment. Again, this game, am I suddenly looking so good, have all the momentum, blah blah? I get it, but GT had to drop catches,
yeah,
right? Bowl rubbish lengths,
yeah,
concede runs, way too many runs too early, right?
yeah,
Uh, then have a Kickstarter of an end. MI had a Kickstarter of an end,
yeah,
and GT lose their captain first up very early, or not even the beginning of a partnership, right? Gone
yeah,
early,
yeah,
untested middle order, and
yeah.
still only lose because of those last five balls,
Absolutely. They
right? So
only
the gap's
lose.
not that big, man. I mean, and
It's not.
and here's the thing: with the Bumrah cheat code,
Yes.
everybody
With
else gets to
Bumrah.
play the equivalent of 18 overs, I would say, not 14 overs, 18 overs.
Yeah.
Because 27 is the kind, or at least 19 overs. 27 is what others would be giving away in 2 or 3 overs.
3 overs. Yeah.
2 or 3 overs, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Not four. So, and
Not
Bumrah
four.
will always be around that much. That's a big advantage. So, add all of this in, the gap was still this tiny. With, of course, the fact that batting power wise, MI have gained in the gap and GT have substantially lost in the gap.
Yeah. So MI, you could say, have barely escaped in this match.
No, I wouldn't
Barely
say
escaped.
barely escaped. 20 runs of decent victory. No, you're right about this. I mean, 150 for two, they were dead.
Yeah. Barely escaped. And I'll
If you
give you
can scroll
another
down, just
example.
scroll down a minute.
Yeah.
Just want to see the GT follow wickets. So I had the memory of this. Yeah, 151 for three is when Washi went. And at
Yeah. That was the
170,
game.
Sai Sudarshan goes.
Yeah.
Right? That's sort of the big ticket thing.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing to talk about. Are we at the end of the road in terms of effectiveness for Rashid Khan?
I will not call time on his career so soon because
I'm
he
not
is
calling
young.
time on his career. He will always
No,
be
no,
effective
no,
if
no.
GT
For
will keep
me,
him.
yeah, yeah. For
But
me,
the
once you lose your
the
effect,
top end part is gone. I think that top end elite Rashid Khan, the killer, is gone.
okay. Here are two counterpoints. I'll counter you. I'll explain why. One, he is my age, 26. He'll be 27 this year. This is the first time that he has been found out. This is the first time in his career. He was excellent prior to this. Okay. The only time before this in his career where he was getting bashed was either in Test cricket or he was getting bashed up by Ian Morgan. Ian Morgan was one of the rare cases before this year in the IPL where he was picking Rashid very well. And he was one of the rarest of rare. Ian Morgan is one of one in that regard. But then the question becomes, can Rashid bounce back and find some variations or nifty little techniques to get back his venom?
Yeah, he'll have to because he's been the weak link all tournament long.
Absolutely. But
Now, by the
surprisingly
way,
enough, this match,
lefties have absolutely been destroying him
yeah,
and
yeah,
getting hit a lot straight down the ground.
yeah,
Even off the shorter delivery, getting hit straight down the ground because he's quick enough. He bowls so quickly, right? Even
yeah,
if his length is pulled back, you can hit him down the ground.
yeah. The great He did two things this tournament that befuddled me. One is in this game. I'll explain that later. But the first one is Liam Livingston, who hasn't hit a single ball into outer space this entire tournament, had his best innings against GT where he hit a 54 and he hit Rashid for 5 sixes that day. Five. Okay, that should tell you everything. Livingston, who couldn't time a ball properly, hit him for 5 sixes and looked fluent against him. That was how good he. That was how
No, but
badly Rashid
what's
bowled.
gone away? What's gone away?
And the
I,
other
I
one is
refuse to
this
believe.
match.
Look, I can understand a batsman or two figuring him out. I refuse to
Yeah,
believe the the length and breadth of the IPL has figured him out. Every single batsman who's coming out to play, every single opposition had figured him out. Sorry, he didn't have
Yeah.
one good match. He does not have
Yeah.
one good match in this IPL. And I refuse to believe
Ironically,
that everybody simultaneously, some switch is flicked and everybody's got it. No, something's off. So maybe his
yeah.
arm is going too low, or because he does have a low point of delivery. His knee does collapse, and his body does
Yeah.
move to the side. Maybe a little
Yeah.
too much of that's happening, and the venom of the pitch is gone.
Yeah.
The
And the
googly
other
is
part,
too slow now. The googly used to zip through.
and the other part, look at his economy in this match. This is the one match in the entire tournament where he was actually good. 4 overs for 31 in a score of 228 is not bad at all. He bowled some really good overs and they were actually pretty good, filled with venom.
I'll tell you when it happened. I'll tell you when it happened. It was when one wicket had gone down. Uh, see, 6 overs 79 became 8 overs 82. He got three off the first over,
Yeah.
right? So his next three went for 28, right? And off
Hmm.
that, the second over that he bowled, he gave away some more momentum again at a very
Hmm.
bad time. Otherwise, he and Sai Kishore was starting had just bowled two good overs to try and bring it back. Sai Kishore, of course, gets killed later in the innings as well.
And the other part, I can never understand Gill's captaincy. You know that Prasidh Krishna is having a bad time. Sure, he took 2 wickets, but just look at that economy rate. You know Prasidh is getting killed. And you know Koitzia is getting not just murdered, but making him reincarnate and then murdering him again.
No,
Koitzia is not a,
even more than that, your spinners have controlled the game.
exactly. Why didn't he bowl Washington Sundar? Why
I'm
didn't he
with you
bowl
on this.
Washi?
I'm really honest. And okay, with Prasid, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Prasid has been his go-to bowler throughout the tournament. He's been his
Why
best bowler.
Koitzia? Koitzia
Totally
20th
with
over.
you. I'm totally with you. And I have this sense of, you start dropping catches in a game, it's not your day.
Yeah,
Stay away from that. Stay. Kutsia could always have contributed for you with the bat. He's a decent all-rounder.
yeah.
But and he could therefore have justified his selection. But if it's not happening, it's not happening. Gave too many match. And it's not like Kutsia just got hit in 1 over. He got hit across the board.
Yeah, yeah. Now, GT for me, this is a successful tournament for them. I'll explain why.
Yes. Yes. No, I accept that. I completely accept that. In fact, it is so successful that they have a settled top three.
Yeah,
They should
yeah,
have always been picking Sundar over
yeah,
Arshad Khan, right?
yes,
And now the big ticket item in this lineup is for next season will be look at Shafin Rutherford, look at Rahul Tevatia. You already have a ready-made replacement in Glenn Phillips,
yes,
right? And you can other look at other options to replace if you or to keep in rotation with these two.
yeah,
Perhaps Shahrukh goes up one slot
yeah,
or two slots.
yeah.
Shahrukh has
Look,
power. He's a good batsman.
yeah, Shahrukh is a reasonable batsman. I actually liked what I saw of him this season, but he needs 20 balls in innings. He doesn't need to come out for 5 balls in innings. He's not a 5 ball in innings player.
Yeah, this
Five
this
ball
is
in
the worst spot for him. That's Tevatia. Tevatia is supposed to be a five bowler.
Yeah. Another example, Tim David is a 6 ball per innings player. Although he could be an 18 ball, 20 baller if he wanted to, because he's that good in power. But again, that's the point. Now, before we move on, Sai Sudarshan, take a bow. Take a freaking bow. What a season. A magical season. Like, there are no words. The lexicography of my brain starts to stop working at some point because this man played like I played like his soul desired him to play with an amount of fire, an amount of will, an amount of confidence that I haven't seen from a young batsman in a long time. Okay, not a long time, in a short while. Jaiswal was the other, of course. But Sai Su in this tournament, what a tournament. I'll just zoom it up for you if you need
So
that.
most likely he can only be overtaken by
Surya.
Could be Virat also. No, no,
Virat
not
only
Virat.
has one innings.
No. It can only be Surya.
Surya. You see, yeah, only Surya. But look at those stats. Just gaze upon them and just be amazed at the sight. 759 runs. He's the youngest ever to get to 700. He has an average of 54, a strike rate of 156, 100, 650s, one not out. Uh, it
Yeah,
boggles the mind.
no, the thing that stands out here is obviously he's giving you more flawless opening because he hits the highest number of boundaries. So
Yeah,
there's actual
88
batsmanship
fours.
there. The actual
88
batsmanship
fours.
there is along the ground.
Yeah,
And given how many balls he's facing, how long he's batting, he's batting all kinds of bowling. He's obviously playing spinners quite well as well. Yeah. Look, Sai Sudarshan is a very interesting creature to me. Every time I watched him bat, I'm like, man, this is the guy. I've seen him bat. He made his ODI. He played the ODI series in South Africa recently, right?
on terrible green tops, even in the ODIs as well.
Superb,
Yeah,
quite superb
yeah.
even there. Uh, I've seen him here, and to everybody, and this there's nothing novel in saying this. He passes the eye test. He's got the high back lift. These are creatures, guys like Jaiswal, guys like Sudarshan. They are raised on the wobble seam, right? Like so, if the ball is pitching within the stump line, anywhere within the stump line, they're fantastic at it. They're actually weaker when the ball is wider of the stumps. It's very odd.
Exactly.
It's very
Exactly.
odd. They're
Exactly.
weaker when the ball is wider of the stumps.
Yeah.
So a
And
wide
not
line,
and not two
even in
stump wide, five stump wide. You have
yeah,
to pitch it really wide.
where a test match lineup can keep bowling if they want, they can keep it there, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, this he passes that eye test. All of that is good. The technique has always looked good. More than enough time on the ball against fast bowling, and yet the red ball record is actually quite poor,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So
let's find out. Let's find out on
yeah,
this Indian tour.
earned it, earned it. Everybody's looking at him and saying he's going to play. I don't know if he'll play all five test matches,
I don't think so.
but I think he'll play a couple at least, two or three at
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
England, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I hope we found a big one here because temperamentally fantastic, man, fantastic.
Such a mature guy in his interviews.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah, yeah,
seeing the GT
yeah.
interviews, you like the guy so much. He's such a
Yeah, but see,
wonderfully nice
I'll
guy.
tell you what. There's uh, a lot of Indian kids sound that way,
Yeah.
right? They come from all kinds of
Hum,
backgrounds. So middle class Indians will sound a particular way. There's a certain set of values they always project. Tendulkar used to project the same values. Dravid used to project the same values. Ganguly maybe a little bit different because Ganguly was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. But Lakshman used to project the same set of values. You're going to hear the modern variant of exactly the same thing from a Sai Sudarshan or from a Ajinkya Rahane. They're very similar. Virat was the outlier, the complete outlier to all of this.
Jaiswal is also a unique one because he
Yeah,
came from basically nothing. So he
no, it's
has
not
that
unique. That's the
ferocity
point.
in.
It's no longer unique. Natarajan has done it. Others have done it, man. There's no longer unique. It's amazing stuff.
No, no, in the way he speaks, because Jaiswal was the main one who has established himself. Natarajan has hardly played for India after the
No, but
Gaba Test miracle, right?
Jaiswal, you've got to understand. People keep thinking that in Jaiswal's circumstance, there wouldn't have been any education, etc. There was education. He
There
was
was,
being
there was.
raised very. You can see he's very well brought up.
Yeah,
This is not a kid who was wild on the streets kind. Like he's very
no,
well brought up. You can see the value systems there. It's quite clear with him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so the refinement also came quickly. He speaks well, he speaks intelligently. The way he spoke of, for example, Suryavanshi, when Suryavanshi made the 100,
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
that elder brother maturity about him, like a very
yeah,
good
yeah,
kind of maturity about him.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
those guys have all got that sort of ability. Some of these guys start to act a little too cool. That's when they become very funny. So Surya trying to be cool nowadays is very hilarious to me.
No,
Pandya in
no.
between. Pandya had lost it in between when he thought he was fucking West Indian. It was
Yeah,
really
yeah,
funny to look at Pandya doing his
yeah,
usual
yeah, yeah.
antics, right? Now Pandya is like the big brother in the room. He wants to take care of everybody. He will take care of everyone. He's going to be a top captain, and he gives MI an edge. He gives MI a serious edge.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Okay.
game today
Let me,
evening, I think the game today evening is MI is to lose. I think Punjab have lost too much momentum.
let's see. We'll talk about them as well. But there is one
No,
more
no,
thing I
let's go
wanted
to
to.
that now. No, what else are we going to do now?
One more thing. Sai Sudarshan hit one shot of Bumrah yesterday. Not yesterday, day before yesterday. I wanted to talk about, and it was a beauty. It was a near Yorker. The ball was almost unhittable. This man hits an on drive, perfect on drive, bisecting square leg and mid on. He bisects those two fielders. Perfection. Like, you know it's coming. You're
Well, that's
off
a red ball
balance.
shot. That's where you
Yeah.
say that, this is the visual test we keep talking about. These are the shots that we look at and say he's got to be playing test cricket,
No,
and
even
hopefully it all.
Bumrah was surprised. Bumrah
No,
was
no.
surprised he caught that.
We've done a lot of Bumrah. Let's go to the other bowler who broke open the match, man.
Yeah.
Hazelgod. Oh
Hazel God.
my
Hazel God
God,
and
what a
Joey
bowler!
Hazel God.
Hazelwood. Listen, if Jitesh Sharma didn't exist, RCB wouldn't have been playing that match.
Yeah.
Okay, but if Hazelgod didn't exist, RCB wouldn't be in a final. I'm promising you they're not in a final. Punjab are a better team than LSG is a weak team. LSG have shown the capacity to fall from any position. I
Yeah.
mean, just think of the first match of the tournament that LSG played, the match that they lost to DC,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A match they should never have lost. That's been their tournament. They have lost games they should never be losing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, Jitesh does something remarkable, but it's Hazelgod who comes like this is Thor's hammer. He's built like that as well, right? He gets that pitch, it's got bounce on it. The seam position will always be perfect from Hazelwood. And with Hazelwood, people keep talking about him as if he's been fantastic for an hour. He's not. Josh Hazelwood has had tough parts of his career. He was a very up and down, straight line bowler with just line and length. He didn't have that many skills. He wasn't moving the ball around. None of that was happening for him. If you look at him in the 2018 BGT, he wasn't much of a threat.
No, no, he was. Bangalore test, took a 6 wicket haul. I think you're referring to something even before, maybe
No, no, I'm talking
2015.
about the away series in 2017 BGT then.
2017 BGT
No,
was
20.
at home.
No, no. Yeah,
2017 BGT
2019,
was in India.
2019 BGT. 2019 BGT when we went and we won, but they had three of those players were bad,
Banned. Yeah.
right? Hazelwood had a start, then had stutter.
Yeah.
Now in his early to mid 30s, like last 2 seasons in particular, 1.5 seasons in particular, it's become
Yeah.
something very, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And I think in the IPL, he is by far the most consistent of the three Aussie seamers. Stark has ups and downs. Stark will bowl you miracles and then collapse as well.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, Pat Cummins, I think, has just almost always been a sort of average bowler in the IPL. He bowls a lot of dot balls, Cummins. It's a funny
Yeah.
thing about him. But he
Not
gets
this IPL.
belted a lot as
Not
well.
this IPL. Not this IPL.
You
This
could take a
IPL, he
look.
was long.
I'm telling you, take a look. He's got a lot of dot balls even this IPL.
But his economy has been terrible, as
That's what I'm
expected.
saying. So he also gives a lot of runs away on the shot, on the ball in which he's getting hit. I
Mm.
get the feeling his length is too aggressive.
Yeah.
Sometimes too short,
Yeah.
sometimes too full, but mostly too short.
I will actually describe the three Aussie seamers in this manner. Hazelwood is the one who has evolved the most. Like, he has added new and newer strings and arrows to his quiver
So
and strings
in
to his
what
bow.
format? In what format?
White ball, especially more so in white ball.
No, no. I think
Because
only in white ball. I don't think Hazelwood is in the same bracket as Cummins in red ball. I
but
don't think he's in the same bracket.
in white
I
ball, right?
completely agree with you. I think he's the best of the three in white ball.
Yeah,
Stark can bowl the better delivery. Stark can break a game. But Hazelwood
yeah,
will turn up more days and do more good things than anyone else.
yeah. And Hazelwood, right? The thing I've noticed with him, 2 years ago when he was playing for RCB, he didn't have a Yorker. He didn't. He's added one. Now he has a very consistent, very good Yorker, which is almost unhittable. It's like a Bumrah Yorker in a sense,
There
right?
used to be a time in the 80s, 90s in particular, if a fast bowler was tall, the Yorker was expected. It was just given.
Joel Garner, for
Because
example.
of the
Yeah,
Ghana, it's not just Ghana, right? Holding had a killer Yorker.
Holding
Uh,
had one. Yeah,
Java had a killer Yorker at times. Java Srinath had a killer Yorker at
yeah,
times. But you had to be a big, strong boy for the Yorker constantly. Patrick
yeah,
Patterson had a great Yorker.
Yeah.
Kamo had a great Yorker. It was just expected that the strong, big fast bowlers will always have a good Yorker.
McGrath had a
Darren
great
Goff.
Yorker.
Darren Goff
McGrath
had a
had a
great.
great Yorker.
McGrath, yeah, but he didn't use it too often. McGrath used to kill you on length,
Yeah,
right?
but
But
he could use
tall,
a
tall
Yorker
bowlers,
when necessary.
tall bowlers, it was expected you had to have a good Yorker, and it was odd that Hazelwood didn't.
Yeah,
In fact, even Cummins doesn't really have a great Yorker. He's obviously got wickets with some stunning Yorker deliveries, but that's just a function of numbers,
yeah,
of sort of volumes. It is
yeah,
not a function of persistent, consistent skill. Unlike, say,
yeah,
Stark, for whom Yorker is bread and butter.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the thing about Hazelwood this season is RCB have really managed him well. They didn't rush him back for the
Mate, he's
Lucknow
won them
game.
at least 3 games. Huh?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
won them at least three
More,
games.
I think. More.
Like,
I would say,
he is the delta in those games. Three to
yeah,
four games. That's a lot.
yeah,
3 to 4
yeah,
games delta means he's the reason why you're number one. He's the reason why you're in the final. More than
yeah,
any other player.
yeah, yeah. But
Definitely RCB's player of the season.
absolutely, absolutely. I would say it's him, and yeah, it's him, no doubt there. Um, then I also want to give a shout out to Yash Dayal. Yash Dayal bowled beautifully in this game.
Yeah.
Got the ball to
You
kick up.
needed the other end to do the job as well, and he did the job. Yeah. No doubt.
That ball to Nehal Vadera, right? It's not a great ball, but it's a very good one in the sense that it completely cramps him up. It cramps him up so that he's trying to hit an aggressive shot, and the aggressive shot results in an inside edge onto his off stump. The ball to Priyan Sharia is half genius, half lucky. I'll explain how. He knows Priyan Sharia wants to hit him on the front foot. Most players these days don't never even go on the back foot. So he's dragged his length slightly back and his hope that the ball would either hold or zip. It zipped. It zipped, bounced and zipped a little more. And then the ball just popped up for an easy catch to Krunal Pandya. That's the brilliancy of those two deliveries. So well thought out in that sense.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think that early bit was very good. It was really, those first 5 overs was superb.
Yeah.
Brought back memories of early part of this tournament
Yeah.
when fast bowlers were breaking open games.
Yeah.
It happened
Yeah.
2 times.
Yeah.
Fresh pitch though, that's the advantage. And that pitch then flattens out over that game and the next day's sun, whatever may have come on it, and then it's just a belter for the GT and Mumbai game.
I think they used a different pitch for that game. I think they used a different pitch.
I mean, it's still the same square, right? It's being used. The square is being used so significantly.
Yeah.
What you're going to have today evening is a fun game. I just really fear for Punjab. I don't think Punjab can chase.
Hmm.
Punjab have to bat first.
Hmm.
Come what may, they have to bat. What's the venue today evening?
Ahmedabad.
Punjab absolutely need to. Oh, now you have a due problem.
Yeah. You don't know. Ahmedabad has given half the games with due, half the games without
Yeah,
due.
you
This
can't. You can't.
can't tell.
Goddamn say. Real big problem. Because if I were Punjab, I'd want to bat first, and whatever the hell I do, get past that 200 score.
200 is not even enough. I would say 240. 240 will kill them.
240 is a lot of runs to get. It's too many to get. I don't think Punjab have the batting. For Punjab to get to 240, you need both those boys at the top, Prab Simran and Priyansh, to go a little
And
bit mad.
English and Shreyas to get going as well. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be the whole lot. Punjab is Stoinis. I mean, Stoinis has to have another big game. Stoinis was so disappointing with the shot he picked with his team at 78 odd for 7 or 8. It's really disappointing shot. He had no business lofting the ball or even thinking about lofting the ball in the 11th over of that innings.
No, he didn't.
Had to keep it on the ground, absorb some runs, and last 4 overs, try and get 40, 50 runs, and you could have suddenly win a 150 game. And at
Yeah.
150 in that pitch, never know.
But
Especially
the thing was they were tracking Hawkeye data. The pitch was actually more difficult to bat on in the second innings than the first
in what way?
because they were saying in the first innings, there was like 0.2 or 0.3 degrees of swing. In the second innings, it was around 0.7, 0.8 degrees on average.
Of
And
swing.
the, yeah,
Swing.
yeah,
It
swing,
was
yeah,
swing
yeah,
has
yeah.
nothing to do with the pitch.
Yeah, yeah, that is there. But I'm just saying the other point they were making was the bounce. It was 3 centimeters above average in the first innings. It was 5 centimeters above average in the second innings. That's what Hawkeye data came up with. I was looking at the figures.
That I think those are marginal. I don't think those are very significant.
The other
The
point
way I
is
see it,
RCB wouldn't have been under any pressure because they were chasing such a low score. So
that's
that would
fair
have made a
enough.
big
But
difference
they
also.
could have been under pressure if Salt gets out early as well. Then you could have
Yeah,
been under
yeah,
pressure,
yeah,
right? But anyway, I think Punjab. See, at the first initial episode that we did,
yeah,
I mean, we both got Punjab and GT absolutely right. They looked at Mumbai. I think
yeah,
we can take 50% credit because we looked at that and said, okay, they've got to survive somehow till Bumrah comes back.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they managed to survive. They had 3 wins out of 6, I think, or 2 out of 6 at the
yeah.
time at which Bumrah came into the tournament, of 2 out of 5 when Bumrah came into
Two
the
out,
tournament.
no, 1 out of 5. 1 out of
No,
5
they were
when
two out
Bumrah
of
came.
five. They were definitely 4 points. They were not 1 out of 5. They were 2 out of 5.
No, one out of
Uh,
five. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because Bangalore beat them in their fifth game, and they had lost out of their 5 games everything except the Kolkata game until them, and then they went on a run. So Bangalore beat them in
and
their
then
fifth game.
maybe Bumrah comes back at 2 out of 6.
No, no,
Uh,
Bumrah came back in the Bangalore game. I'll show you. I'll show you. Bumrah came back in the Bangalore game.
Not sure. Well, anyway, they kept themselves alive, so that's what we were looking at with them. Just keep
See
yourselves
here.
alive. Keep yourselves alive, and don't sort of be dead in the tournament too early.
Yeah,
Bumrah will come back, and it'll all look better.
yeah,
Their batting got a little bit better. They'd lost. That was that they'd lost back-to-back games at that time where you started to look at them and say they can win these. They should be winning these games because those were 2 games that they lost, chasing 29 of 2 overs, the last two
yeah,
overs. That's
yeah,
what had happened to them. And once they
yeah,
got past those two, and then they got on that run, they just had enough. Right now, they look like they have plenty in them because Bumrah could come and break you to pieces. You never know.
yeah,
He could just come
yeah,
do a mad one on you.
yeah,
But uh, if Punjab play out Bumrah, the
yeah.
others can be attacked, right? And I think that Mumbai opening pair, I mean, Rohit Sharma is suspect, man. No question he's suspect. 100% he's suspect. And there's
Three
enough in the
drops,
Punjab.
3 drops, 3 drops. You can't trust a
Drops
guy
is
like that.
because of his hitting, but I think he's suspect even in terms of the quality of good quality bowling can get him, can genuinely get him.
Yeah. And Tilak
What is
Verma has had
Punjab?
a nightmare of a season.
What is
Tilak Verma,
Punjab's 11 likely to be today?
I'll tell you. But there is actually another point I wanted to make. You got 2.5 teams right. We both got at least 2.5 teams right. I
Yeah,
got 3.5 teams right. I picked RCB and they did make it. So 3.5 teams this time.
you picked
KKR was the
RCB.
one.
I thought both of us were looking at RCB and going like, "There's no way
I
RCB are
said
getting."
fourth. I said fourth. I said fourth and they came second. I said fourth. I
Yeah,
said
I didn't look at RCB and think that they were going to do much. That team for me was going to be DC.
we also picked KKR and KKR disappointed us big time. So that was
That
another
no,
reason.
and SRH.
Yeah, SRH as well. So we got those wrong. Okay.
KKR I wasn't as big on. SRH I was. SRH is a genuine shock to me. Something's
Genuine
happened
shot.
in that dressing room, man. Something went wrong in that dressing room.
Possible. Possible. Certainly possible. Chahal. Chahal will be your change. You can't be bowling these many seamers. Chahal has to come in. And Chahal is coming in.
No, that's
Yuzven.
definite. For whom? For
Azmatullah,
whom?
in my opinion. Or even Mushir Khan. Why on earth would you
No,
keep
but
Mushir
Mushir
Khan?
Khan only came in as a impact sub. So that's the change. Chahal
Yeah.
will come in as an impact sub.
Yeah.
But what
Instead of
if they
Mushir,
bowl first?
if they bowl first, they keep Yuzvendra Chahal in the starting 11 and then they sub him out in the second innings. Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Fair enough.
There's nothing else they can change here. And they have also lost a gun bowler. Janssen is no longer with them. And Janssen
And
was a
not just gun
huge,
bowler, gun all rounder.
yeah. Jameson is not Janssen's level. Let me put it that way. So That's the other
Yeah,
thing.
but Jamison can, Jamison, if he gets it right, this is not the pitch for Jamison.
No,
Unless Jamison has the smarts and tries to bowl a bit like Cummins did in that World Cup final, but that's a really tough skill for anyone to execute.
yeah,
Uh, Listen, man, I don't think Arshdeep will bowl four more important overs than he will today for Bombay, for Punjab.
Punjab.
Arshdeep's four
Yeah,
overs are fucking massive today. And he has to get that early wicket.
yeah,
Absolutely have, like he's the left arm seamer. He's got a big
yeah.
advantage against Rohit. He has to go nail Rohit early.
Not just Rohit, he can even nail Bairstow. Bairstow isn't the best against left arm seamers either.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
the
mean, I'll
best.
take one. Two would be an absolute bonus. But I'll
Yeah,
take one. Who will open the bowling? So it'll be Arshdeep and Jamison. Let's go down.
yeah.
Or let's go up actually. Let's go up. Let's go to the Punjab bowling.
Punjab bowling is right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Omar Zai has barely he's not taken a major wicket haul. Yeah.
Harpreet is a very good option.
He
Harpreet
is a
is
very good option.
probably a better option than Santner because he has a little more zip to his balls, which I've seen.
Listen, you're being a little bit adventurous here. Santner is proven and reproven man.
That's
And
there.
Santner is the most modified bowler around with the white ball. He's so good, so smart. Uh, yeah, Chahal comes into this, and from there we can see how they go. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know whether this bowling lineup is enough to hurt uh, Mumbai. I, let's be clear, GT had a better bowling lineup.
But GT's bowling lineup was so badly out of form. I think at this point their bowling
Yeah,
lineup
so
looked worse.
that bit is the odd bit. But Punjab have also played one game. That's an advantage for them. They played one game in the return. Not one. They played three games now since they came back. That
Yeah.
extra number of games might help them a little. Uh, that bowling lineup is not going to like Arshdeep has a huge load to carry. Jamison has a huge load to carry. If there's bounce in today's pitch for whatever reason,
Yeah.
right, then Jamison might come into it in a major way. But outside of
Yeah.
that, I really think Mumbai should be fancying this. Mumbai is going to be very difficult. Very difficult. Mumbai's bowling lineup. Just look at this name to name. Mumbai's bowling lineup is infinitely better.
I'll I'll give you one caveat. Bumrah has no equal on this bowling lineup. Let's be very clear. Bumrah is beyond. But let's look at the other numbers. Trent Bolt went for 14 and over in the last
Yeah, he may
match.
go for 14 and over, but Trent Bolt can easily give you a 2 for 35 game or 3
That's
for
there.
35 game.
But he has been a little off the boil in the last two games. The eliminator, he went for a lot. Punjab
He's
game
also a
also he
guy who
was.
comes in when you need it most in late overs. He can bowl you six Yorkers. Skill set level is different. You've got to accept that the skill set level on the Mumbai bowling lineup is a little bit different.
Yeah,
And
but
Pandya, Pandya
Hardik
on
has
top
been
of
off
that.
the boil. He's been off the boil.
I agree. I agree. He bowled well early parts of the season.
And
First
then he's
five, six,
been getting battered. Then he's
yeah,
been getting absolutely battered
yeah,
by
and
everyone.
to the extent that when Mumbai lost that game against GT in
Yeah,
that
GT.
the last over that wasn't a super over, but the last over that was bowled after the rain delay, it
Yeah.
should have been Hardik bowling that over instead of
Yeah,
Chahar.
but he didn't trust himself. And we can see why. Because
That's why.
against
That's why.
GT,
Can we look at the
in the
Mumbai bowling
eliminator, he
lineup?
got
Can we look at the
smoked.
Mumbai bowling lineup from the last game as well?
We'll do that.
So Gleason or Chahar?
Honestly, for me, Chahar has been off the boil. Gleason has never been on the boil.
Bro,
Neither of them are
Chahar might get you swing early and get you wickets.
might. Yeah,
Yeah,
might
and
be the
Chahar can back.
opportunity.
Chahar can hit a long handle.
But just look at Hardik's figures here. I think he's pretty justified in thinking that the super over should not be his. Look at how he's been battered.
Hey, what about the others? Yeah. Again, man, this is another this is very interesting. Both captains did this. They kept going with the seamer, and
Yeah,
yet the spinners bowled well. You
Actually,
have
think
two
about
overs,
it.
19 for one from the spinners. Why wouldn't you bowl the spinners more?
2 overs from Mumbai, and okay, at least these guys bowled 8
No, no,
and 9.
but they,
Yeah,
they can't do their 20 overs without Rashid. Yeah, without Rashid and Sai
yeah,
Kishore.
yeah.
They need those 20 overs. Their
No,
big ticket item
essentially,
was how do you bowl Washi?
no, but I'm so surprised that Mumbai have basically decided we are going to abandon spin completely this season and still try and win a title. Because look at what they did for Santner here. Because two lefties are at the crease, they
Yeah, but that
decided
doesn't mean
not.
they're abandoned across the tournament. I mean, Santner's had a major role to play across the tournament. He's bowled well through the
Yeah, yeah,
tournament.
yeah. But if you remember, the games which
I'll
Chennai
give you one
lost,
more prediction, in my opinion. If Punjab win, RCB are winning the title.
yeah,
If Mumbai win, the game is open.
hmm, yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening. But the other point I'm trying to make is look at Santner. Santner was bashed up by Punjab in their previous game. He was absolutely demolished in the last league game they had. Okay. 45 or 50 runs he went for in his 4 overs. They routed him everywhere. Now, in this game, because there are three lefties back to back to back, Sai Sudarshan, Washington Sundar, and then Mr. Sharfin Rutherford, they decide not to bowl him because of a matchup issue. Like, don't they trust Santner enough to give him the overs even against lefties? Apparently, they don't, because that's exactly what happened. Once they realize they
They
are
should
only
have
sitting
trusted
left.
him. There's no reason not to trust him. He's too experienced. He's bowled too well throughout. This is one of those freakish things, man. This is one of those freakish things. He saw something in an over where a seamer was bowling. Like, please tell me what about Trent Bolt going at 56 in 4 overs is better
Yeah,
than what Santner would have done?
exactly. Exactly.
So this is just one of those freakish things where a captain is looking at seam. He prefers seam. He just wants to go with the seam, and he pays the price with seam, but
Yeah.
you don't sort of look at it as much of a bad decision. Seam is the default option when it comes to restricting runs, right? So fair enough. But yeah, there's a trick missed here. 100% both captains missed a trick here.
Now, on to another, and we'll talk a bit about RCB's. One thing which I loved this season was the fact that they have 9 people all winning their, you know, man of the match awards. 9 different folks have done it this season, and out of these people here, if you look at their batting lineup, right, uh, Virat has one, Patidar has two, Krunal has two himself, Yashdayal has one, I believe. Hazelwood has a couple. Then Shepard has one. It's been so good to see. Like, this RCB season is the polar opposite of the 2016 IPL season. 2016 IPL, it was just Gale, AB de Villiers, and Kohli having monstrous seasons. More so, ABD and Kohli having monstrous seasons for the ages. But this season, it's not been that way. Kohli has quietly come and just put a 600-run season on his plate. But everyone else has chipped in. And RCB, if Mumbai have had the greatest replacement player in Johnny Bairstow, I will say RCB have the second greatest in Mayank Agarwal. Agarwal has done his job so well. He plays spinners like he's batting on a Ranji Trophy wicket. He's so good in hitting spin. That's exactly what we were missing. In fact, in my opinion, he should be a part of this RCB lineup going forward next year as well, not just Devdutt Padikkal. You can even think of playing 3 overseas players with Mayank Agarwal around. You don't need Livingston. If you have such a good spin hitter in Agarwal, you don't need a person like Livingston. He's looked so good in his 3 brief innings at the crease. And that Lucknow game, the way he was playing the sweep shot, so good. That is what we were missing. Mayank Agarwal, in my opinion, an underrated signing. We should retain him next season as well. That is another
I
underrated.
think two good games left. Punjab, I think the underdog clearly
Yeah,
against Mumbai. And even if they beat Mumbai, then they're the underdog for me in front of RCB. So let's see how it
yeah.
goes.
Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. press the bell icon, and please continue to check back on our channel if you're not getting notifications. We are very regular with our uploads. We don't miss days, and we look to keep you entertained.
We are not consistent. The number of gap in number of days will not be there, but the number of videos will definitely be there, and that's all to his immense credit.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I have been editing a lot, but Nikhil is also going to come into the process, so it will be a two-sided equation. Remember, we are doing this for pleasure and for sharing certain views. Not all of them are unique or original, but we sometimes come up with insights like with the IPL run rate, for
No, you
example.
gotta. It's not that you gotta reason it. Reasoning is reasoning, right?
Yeah, that's also there. That's also there. So, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, as I've said, and please share your comments. We want to see more comments, and we will look into certain other features as well and developments and look to develop this podcast some more. So, thank you all so very much for subscribing, and we shall see you very soon. Very, very soon.
Okay, chalo. Take care.